Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Charlie. Charlie hasn't been online forever. I don't make as many videos as I used to, and people call me out on it. But I'm busy, man, and I run out of little things to say without boring the shit out of everybody. You know what I mean? So today I've got something important to talk about. Today is actually March 30th. We are in the first few days of 17 years since the United States and NATO bombed this beautiful little country that's in my middle of my heart. And I want to talk about something. I didn't mention it the other day, and I apologize. I meant to make a video about it the other day, but I didn't. Okay, March 27th, 1999. As I'm telling you, I'm drinking, look at this, changing the subject like I always do. Cherry 7-Up. You don't see this in Serbia, you don't see this in a lot of places in the USA. But a gentleman, huge, big, tall gentleman, he didn't want me to mention his name. His sister lives in Dubai. He works programming here in Novi Sad. He sent me a message one day on Facebook, or on through my blog, and he said, "Charles, I know you love Cherry 7-Up. And I know you love these Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. So, he said, I'd like to bring you a gift. I want to meet you. I want to bring you something. Because I know you miss home." So I was absolutely touched by that. But he came to my office. I was on the phone in my office and somebody just walked in. Big, tall, massive man. I thought he was one of my students' fathers. And I thought, uh-oh, hope something's not going wrong, because he was huge. And he said, "Hey, I just brought you a gift. I'm the guy that wanted to meet you and bring you this." Such a good guy. And I won't say his name. He didn't want his name mentioned, so I'm not going to mention it. Anyway, he brought me Cherry 7-Up. He bought me 3 of these, Cherry 7-Up, my favorite soda ever. And you can see, a lot of people have never seen Cherry 7-Up. It's very clear. You can't tell it's cherry until you sip it. It's beautiful. Oh my God. The most beautiful soda you could ever have. And here in Serbia, they don't have that taste for cherry stuff. Obviously, they have a lot of vishnia. Vishnia is cherry, but they don't put it in soda very much, like you have in the USA. And we have cherry Coke, we have cherry Pepsi, we have cherry everything. But not here, it's not a big deal. And then he brought me these Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, by far my favorite candy ever. And I'll show you what it is. USA, we eat a lot of peanut butter. This is totally off topic for what I was going to talk about, but that's what happens when you're dealing with somebody with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and I've had it for freaking years, but I don't take medicine. I haven't taken medicine since I've been in Serbia. So I'm a little bit insane, you know, and it draws it out of me sometimes. But this is a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, if you can see it. It's got peanut butter. Serbians don't eat a lot of peanut butter. You can find it here in places, but frick, it's expensive. I've saw little bottles like this big of peanut butter in like Maxi, in Roda, in places, and it's like 600, 700 dinara for a small little thing. It's so expensive. But Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, it's something made in the USA. Such a good candy. Chocolate, brown, good chocolate, not dark chocolate, but just your brown, regular chocolate, surrounded, kako se kaže, wrapped around peanut butter. Peanut butter in here. God, these are so good. He brought me 3 of these things, and I ate 2 of them. Because I'm a pig like that. God, I love these things. Let me wipe my hands on something. This is so good. It doesn't go good with Cherry 7-Up because it's so sweet. I'm going to lose weight, though, when I go to USA this year. I'm going, and I'm going to have some money, and I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to be really, really pretty, you know? Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you today about, briefly, a lot of you from the United States of America, from other countries, from Australia, from England, the biggest viewers on my videos are from Serbia, of course. Number 2 is USA, number 3 is Canada, usually. 4, Germany, Australia, England. They're all in that little bunch, because there's a lot of diaspora there. A lot of these Western people don't realize, 17 years ago, in 1999, the United States of America, Madeleine Albright, Wesley Clark, the leader of NATO troops, and Bill Clinton decided to bomb this country because of mistreatment of the Albanian people in Kosovo, okay? And I got some hate last time when I mentioned this, when I mentioned how disgusting it was, I thought, for my country to come in here and bomb this country. I get lots of hate mail for that. And I'm not saying anything about the Albanian struggle. Bad things were done by Serbian people to Albanian people there, okay? You wanted to hear that, yes. My point is not that. My point is so many people have heard that in the world. So many people have not heard what happened here, okay? That's the point that I make. It's not hatred. It's not being brainwashed. It's about talking about what happened to these fine folks here. The people I deal with are everyday people. They had nothing to do with that. Well, they had nothing to do with the problems down there, but my government made problems for them here. With their jobs, with their homes, with their lives, with their infrastructure and everything, okay? But something interesting that happened, as an American person, it's not, you can't really say interesting. But we, as the United States, have a massive military budget, right? Bernie Sanders said it perfectly. There's a beautiful video, and I'm going to put the link in this description. I want you to watch it. Serbians don't like Bernie Sanders too much. I support Bernie Sanders. He's my candidate. I stand by him. I love him. He's running against Hillary Clinton in the Democratic nomination, for the Democratic nomination to run November 1st against the Republican. The Republicans are currently Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and Kasic. And Kasic is a Croat ancestry from the former governor of Ohio. Okay, I'm a Democrat. I'll always be a Democrat. Okay, that's just me. So you can like it or you can not. It doesn't matter. That's who I am. I believe in social programs. I believe in universal health care. I believe in minority rights. I believe in helping the underdog and making the rich and wealthy and big corporations pay their percentage of taxes, which they don't pay. Okay? So anyway, regardless of that, I lose respect for people because of their political views, so you probably do too, but I don't want to get too much into that part of it. Bernie Sanders, one thing I don't like about him, he was pro-intervention into Serbia, okay, and that's a fact. He's anti-war big time, but I think he's brainwashed on that aspect of it. But I don't judge my military leader or my military leaders, my presidential candidates, over foreign policy, because I think every American president's controlled by bigger powers than that when it comes to foreign policy. Every American president gets involved in things I don't want them involved in, okay? I look at domestic policy, things like that, social programs and such. That's what's important to me. But as Serbian, I understand you, okay? I love you, and I care about you and everything. But as an American living here, I found this kind of interesting. This is an interesting fact that happened in 1999, March 27th, 1999. A Lockheed Martin F-117 Nighthawk, considered an invisible plane, okay? These planes are what we send to countries. We bomb the shit out of places, and we disappear. They can never see us. Supposedly it's invisible. Nobody can see it, okay? High-tech technology stuff. I think it was created in 1983, if I remember right. I read a little bit about it. The first technology was created in 1983, and then it was released, I think, in 1988 or 1990, right around then. Okay, and we've used it. We used it in the Gulf War, which, if you don't know, if you're not from the USA, the Gulf War was when the first George H.W. Bush, original George Bush, he decided to go into Kuwait and help the Kuwaiti people. We went in there, we used it there, we used it in the Second Gulf War, and we used it here in Serbia in 1999. But there was a gentleman named Kako se zove. He was known as Vega 31. That was his radio call sign, Vega 31. His name is Lieutenant Colonel Daryl Zelko, okay? Daryl Zelko flew from a military base, I think, in Italy. he was using a stealth plane to come and bomb Serbia. He was over a little place between Ruma and Novi Sad, somewhere in this general region of Vojvodina, which is the northern part of Serbia, in this invisible airplane that nobody can see, okay? Bombing things. And then Serbia, this country we're bombing, has old, bad anti-aircraft stuff from the Soviet era, old stuff, you know, that's been out of service in most countries for years in the USA. Stuff like that would have been long gone, but we spend multi-billions of dollars in our military stuff. And this old stuff, these old anti-aircraft things, there was a gentleman, I think he's Hungarian ancestry, I don't remember his name and I don't want to read it on here because it looks silly. He shot it down. First F-117 in the history of the world. I guess we're the only ones that have it. But it was the only one ever to be shot down. It was shot down over Serbia. Very interesting fact. I want to show you a little bit about it. They shot it down. The guy had to, Daryl, had to hit the, the button where you fly out, a jet button. He ejected over somewhere around Ruma in the Vojvodina, northern Serbia part of the country. He ejected out, hid. They came in and rescued him. They made a story about it. I'll put the link in here too. There's a movie, a documentary. It's called The Second Meeting, where he, Daryl, the American in this invisible plane, was shot down. The documentary is about him. Years later, he meets this Serbian nationality, Hungarian ancestry, that was in charge of these anti-aircraft guns. He meets the guy that shot him down. Really good story. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was a nice story. A lot of Serbians don't like the story, and I can kind of understand their point of view. They're looking at a guy that came here to bomb them. So I understand the Serbian point of view on it too. But as an American, as an outsider, I see it as a nice story. And I want you to watch it. I want you to look it up and see what you think of it. But he comes here, this American comes here with his family to meet this Serbian guy that shot him down. The Serbian guy now is in a small village in central Serbia. He's a baker. He's in a pekara, what they call it here. Makes cakes and different things. And they meet, their families meet. The Serbian family goes to the USA and meets his family. It's a nice story about breaking down barriers and things. And the way I look at military, folks, you can't judge, you can't blame a lot of the troops that do this stuff because they do whatever their leaders tell them to do, in my opinion. It's not my opinion, it's the way it is. So when a government tells you to do something, you do it, unfortunately. So I don't think we should blame the military in any aspect or any little intervention, anything like that. Some of them do bad things, yes, and they should be tried for war crimes and stuff, but overall, when a military, Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever, is told to do something, they do it, okay? But Vega 31, which was his radio call sign, was hit by the Serbian air defense thing, rescued here. You don't hear a lot about it in the USA. I wrote a blog post about it. I'm going to show you right now. I thought it's so interesting. It's an interesting little piece. We did some bad things here, and the Serbian people, they are very proud of this fact, and you can't blame them, can you? You know, let me take this off of here. Excuse me. Let me show you a little bit about it. I'll show you what they are. Maybe you don't know what this is, but let me show you. That is a Lockheed Martin F-117 Nighthawk. Okay, they're invisible, but it was shot down here in Serbia. You can see the headline here, Vega 31, the first and only F-117 stealth jet fighter shot down in combat. 15 years ago, this article's 2 years old. This is in 2014, and now it's 17 years ago. But I wrote a really interesting blog post. I want you to look at it. It's called The Only in Serbia, F-117 Bife. Bife is a little shitty bar, like for old men, and they had this in Serbia. I thought it was funny. Sorry, we didn't know it was invisible. Greetings from Serbia. And they have this little sign. Serbian people in Belgrade and all these big cities, they went out during the bombing on big bridges, and they would hold this target to protest against the involvement and the bombardment of their country. I thought it was really neat. But there it is. There's some pictures of that. And they say a lot of this, it's still in the museum in Belgrade. I think it's at Nikola Tesla Airport. You can find remnants. They still have lots of pieces of this F-117 they shot. But this is in the little place called India. Indjia, I think it is. That's the Autobuska Stanica, the bus station. And the little bar, they had an own bar. It's called F-117 Bife. And they got pictures. Look at this. Bife. And they got pictures of the shot down F-117. I thought it was kind of cute in a way. But, they're defending their country. This happened. And what would we do in the USA if we shot down supposedly some invisible Russian thing? We would do the same thing. The people are protecting their lands, and I thought it was kind of cute. And if you look it up if you look up F-117 Serbia, you'll see things like, sorry, we didn't know it was invisible. F-117 shot down in Serbia. U pičku materinu. That means go back into your mother's vagina. Things like that. But an interesting story, interesting bit of military history. Only country ever to shoot it down. They fought against the most powerful military complex in the history of the world. NATO, England, Australia, Canada, United States, France, Italy. All these people attacking this small little country, and it went on for 3 months. A lot of people died, a lot of things damaged. But the people didn't lose their passion and their toughness, man. Good people here. I think we did the wrong thing. Just an opinion. We all have our opinions. That's it, Svima. I'm going to get back to my Cherry 7-Up. Good stuff. And these wonderful Reese's, because Serbian people are so good to me. They just like to... I didn't ask for any of this. Please don't think that I'm a beggar and I'm asking for free food and free snacks, but I get it. You can see what I got at the store, too. Ivar Pavlika and tortilla chips. Because I'm using a lot of these dips that wonderful guy in Sweden... Oh, my God, look, I didn't dust for ages. Oh, yeah, but... Anyway, Svima, that's it. F-117 shot down 17 years ago. Do widzenia.